Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to all of you. It's truly a pleasure to have each one of you here today as we dwell into the intricate world of presentations and the art of conveying scientific complexities. As Edward de Bono rightfully puts it, a presentation is not a document, but an experience. Today, we gather here to understand and appreciate the experimental aspects of presentation, especially in the realms of scientific research. Our focus in today's session revolves around the art of presenting in various time frames 1, 3, 5, and 10 minutes, respectively, with the overarching theme of elevating your research. I'm delighted to introduce you our distinguished speaker of today, Professor Shantanu Chakrabarti, sir. Sir is a member of the governing body of UEM Calcutta and serves as a visiting scientist of DRDO Kanpur. His academic journey is marked with excellence. So graduated in mechanical engineering from Jawadpur University and further pursued his MSc and PhD in applied engineering from Cranford University, UK. Returning to India, he contributed significantly at Wellman in Cancerate India and Tata Steel, where he retired as the head of research applications R&D in 2011. Through his illustrious career, Sir has recognized with numerous awards, including the International Innovesta Prize in 2009. Sir's dedication to knowledge is evident in his roles as an editor of the Evolution of Technology Tata Steel, a 50-year narrative, and the book Future Landscape of Structural Materials in India, published by Springer. In the past 2 years, Sir has taken an initiative to share his expertise by conducting extensive training sessions on technical communications. His impact has reached scholars in IITs, scientists in research institutes, and the engineers in the corporate sector across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud and privileged to have Dr. Shantanu here with us today. Let's welcome him with a warm and absorb these insights that he has to give.
First, my apology. I came here last afternoon, went through the session, interacted with a lot of you, went back to the guest house. By the time I realized the room was cold, 32 outside and 22 inside, the voice was gone. Couldn't help it. The organizers, including Mahesh Tumbare, Ambarish, Ganesh, everyone helped their best to salvage it a little bit. I will try my best to share whatever painstakingly I have tried to connect. If you search the internet, then you have a pointer. And what's the necessity of Shantanu Chakrabarti? 4 crores, 83 lakhs entries. How to present research. So many PowerPoints, so many short texts. Is there anything new to add? Then why am I here? I believe I can add. I can add whatever practical knowledge I have through guiding research, doing research, seeing research documents. To begin with, a short story. He was a legendary professor of philosophy in Calcutta University long ago. On the first day of his postgraduate class, he announced, "Look here, students, I'm not going to cover your entire syllabus." Naturally, you can imagine the reaction. Oh, he said, "Don't worry, I will uncover only a part of it so that you are interested enough to dig out the rest." This particular story has got a lot of significance. That's what he said. My job is to create your appetite for learning more. That brings us to the quintessence of today's lecture. Your PhD thesis and its presentation in 1, 3, 5, or 10 is like a iceberg, but with positive potential. The major iceberg might have damaged, destroyed the Titanic, but I believe the kind of research you are going to present is going to win the world for you if you can do it properly. First thing, please appreciate doing a research is different from presenting a research. At times, poles apart. Poles apart. They are two different things, two different ball games. They're not the same. Remember that. Some of you, I don't know whether they are present here, had interactions with me. We've been a guy and Oksana, I remember a few names as well. I tried to share whatever little bits of such presentation I could share with them. Will be here today. First question, the purpose. Why present at all? Possible clients, customers approve before the project begins, or review, midterm or final end of the term, defense, or maybe to your prospective employer. Four kinds I have categorized. They're going to be different ballgames. You can't serve the same dish to all four. This is a generic slide. You can ask yourself how much you score on these traits. I can't define hard work. You know it better than me. Ambition, of course, the motivation, patience. Sometimes ambition and patience are contradictory. An ambitious person may not be always patient. You have to make a kind of compromise and optimization. Humility, being humble, the opposite of I know everything. Seriousness, I mean business. This is the fire in the belly, passion. No great work in the world has been done without passion. Be it technical communication, be it cleaning a room, be it drawing a picture, doing research. Last point, which I read in a wonderful book by a Nobel laureate scientist of Spain, Sanchez Cajole, Cahole. The book is available, should be in Amazon. Advice to a young researcher. And he says, keep your hands on the plow. Plow means which you till the land. You can see a small note to myself. It may not mean anything to you, but to me it does, because in Bhagavad Gita it says categorically, Lord Krishna advises the disheartened Arjuna, you don't have to bother. Ma anusmara yuddhaja. You remember me and you fight. For your PhD, keep your focus on, do the job. Don't wait for your results very quickly. Results will come sooner or later. Few points to note. Here I try to take a break and remind you, I am here to add value to this presentation, not by theorizing, but by giving exact examples from 3 or 4 projects. One on fretting corrosion in steel, one on work-home contradiction from industrial psychology from the University of Michigan, one on ultra high strength steel heat treatment or quoting another, just a glimpse of the relation between wear and mechanical strength and microstructure of steel. I will graze upon them, and at the end of it, I will give you one sheet summary, what you take back from here. That sheet was being circulated, which I ask Desh and others to stop now. That's the high time. Those who have the patience to sleep through my lecture will get it. First is the point. Next one is a question you ask yourself. I'm not your examiner. I'm here to guide you, to tell you what question you should ask yourself. Well, could it be Mahesh Tumbar or Ambarish or Ganesh or Orka Prabhu? Orka Prabhu asks himself, Ganesh asks himself, do I have original objective data? Do I have new observation and useful ideas to communicate? Ask yourself. Never show pedantic knowledge with data gathered from second and third hand source. Don't try to impress. After all, those who are listening to you, those who are going to read your textual description or visual presentation are not simpletons. They're not going to be impressed by your language. I don't know whether anyone of you, I think Dinesh is here. Dinesh may remember, I did a 3-day course on communication, April 2023 in IIT Hyderabad. I gave an example of a piece of writing which sounds very pedantic, very much bombastic, but means nothing. If you listen to it, I know you will feel, I think, I understand it, but a couple of words are not very familiar to me. The superfluous infatuation of Akbar Darwindically lacetized the Gorbantism of Humayun. Akbar and Humayun are familiar names, but all those terms, bombastic terms, have no meaning. I have seen theses, dissertations, technical papers with big, bombastic words, where the researcher initiates a work, he never starts the work. He doesn't begin the work, he commences it. Our general tendency to use big, heavy words is to be given up. Guard against premature publication. Have you spent enough time in the laboratory, or in the workshop, or in the library? You left early. Ask yourself. Original data, new things to communicate. Give me 30 seconds to question my throat. There was a German philosopher by the name Schopenhauer. 2 statements I picked up. Whatever is good is twice as good if it is brave. One should speak as in a will, though our legal language is very complicated at times, but still fewer words mean less litigation, less problem. I will give you a couple of examples from whatever I picked up yesterday. Come to it. Biggest problem, audience, customer. There are 4 types, 4 categories I've made. Aware of the subject, but not of the technique. Aware of the subject and technique. Aware of the technique, but not of the subject. A mix of all 3 groups. Unless you know whom you are addressing, unless you are sure why are you addressing, you cannot prepare the plate, you cannot prepare the meal. And often the problem is the right bottom corner. You don't know the ones. You don't know whether they are BSc graduation or postdoctorals or completely from a different field. What to do? Let me attempt this particular section only. Your audience, major difficulty. We go for a buffet spread, veg, non-veg, kosher, Jain, gluten-free, Hindu, vegetarian, Jain. No, not allowed. One presentation, mixed audience. How do you do it? Here you have to take a risk, no doubt about it. Basic theory, simple terms, with whatever backup you have, keep it in hyperlink. Be ready with your fixed deposit in the bank. Don't bring all the money into the audience. You know what I mean by money. Your research content. Keep it. You know you have it. Don't try to impress. But you know what the problem is? The kind of project in which you work, we dedicate our blood and sweat. Khun pasina. It's very difficult at times to cut down length. You feel like, hey, this was very important, but I need to show it as well. You have to be ruthless with yourself. You have to cut down your length to the basic minimum. At this time, I'll come to it. We often try to generalize the topic, the title, by giving introduction, general study, assessment, a report on an experimental investigation. I'm not asking you to make it extremely dramatic so that nobody can guess what you're talking about. But stick to the basics, basic terms. I will show you one example. My apology to the particular student from whose poster I picked it up yesterday. I hope she's not here. This was her topic of the project in poster. Just read. A full, grammatically correct full sentence. The last thing you should have a research title. Be it a poster, be it a technical paper, it could be simplified. You need not tell everything. Choose a set of titles, then select the apt one. Remember, your title is the first bait. You are catching a fish. Be it a funder, be it an employer, be it your PhD examiner. The title is the best bait you are going to catch her with. Don't try to say everything in 20 words, simply. And then full sentence. Illustrate evolutionary diversity. There were many such examples. There were a few more posters yesterday. What I saw and disliked greatly was abstract was 15, 20 lines. Conclusion was 27 lines. What is this? Didn't anyone tell you abstract should be the absolute consolidated, solid quintessence of what you have done? Conclusion, so that a person comes and looks at it and says, oh, is that so? I categorically remember one particular project. A girl student, with her permission, I'm remembering her name as Ruxana, she did a sensor for H2S analysis. Super presentation, neat and clean, you understand, not cluttered at all. She was so very conjuice and miserly in her depiction. But she explained it all. She was confident. She had the passion. I know many of you, if not all of you have the passion. But you don't have to show everything. Ruxana's presentation stood out yesterday. 5 or 10, whatever I saw. That was the best, according to me. If you get a chance to see her presentation later, I think she was from chemical or biotechnology, I'm not really sure. Nano SNO2 doped sensor for sensing the presence of hydrogen sulfide, something. I am warning you against some mistakes. Here comes Sindhura, what's the time? 12:35. 25. This is, you know what is a jargon? Jargon is unnecessarily heavy word which can be replaced by a smaller word. I have a matrix in the next slide. Column 1, column 2, column 3. At random, I request all of you, mental, of course not audibly, pick up any word from column 1, second word from column 2, third word from column 3. I will display the slide, take a sip of water, and then see if you put that 3-word phrase into your writing. Do you think anybody will ever question? You don't have to understand. Pick at random, one from A, one from B, one from C. Put a 3-word phrase. Put it anywhere in your writing, any topic. It will go. Not many, nobody, I think, nobody will stand up and say, what does that mean? See that? Let me see. Buzzwords. I'm not saying they don't have meaning. They do. To use them carelessly. Because it sounds very impressive. Optimum repetitive mode, ritualistic digital factor, multifaceted logistical parameter. I challenge you to present it to an audience of 100, not even 2 persons or 5 persons will stand up and say, would you please explain that? Because we would like to understand, but we don't have the courage to ask, that doesn't fit in here. So whenever you are using any of these words or any more, be careful using these buzzwords, use them categorically. Just one more question, since it is 12:25, you can 14 examples that I can run through. You can always pick up one word, one very common word I think every one of this audience knows and uses, often thoughtlessly. Optimize. Optimum solution. May I invite Dinesh, who performed really well in my class, that what is optimum? This optimum solution. Please, how do you explain optimum solution? Simply. Louder, louder.
Optimum, I think it's something which is a balance between some kind of a contradicting parameters.
Excellent. You have hit the bull on the eye. Absolutely hit the bullseye. Many of my class participants often say, sir, optimum is the best. No, 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 no. It is the best according to the contradicting constraints. Under a constrained condition, what is the best solution? So next time you use the word optimum, think whether you are talking of best solution or the best solution under some constraints. So optimum has a meaning, what Dinesh said. Thank you very much once again. When you are winding up your presentation, be it 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, draw the attention to the scopes of future research in the area. Connect them to the world. Touch upon the potential of current research, either implementation or to proceed further. Yesterday, the guy who was with me for a long time, initially it was a Richie Matthew. Today he has exams, he's a mechanical and tech person. And there was another guy who was extremely helpful all throughout the day. He was with me, Ambarish. Ambarish is possibly from physics department. Students who are doing PhD in natural sciences, pure science, may ask me a very pertinent and disturbing question. Sir, pure science research does not always lead to implementation or practical industrialization or productionization. I dislike the word productionization. But anyway, so what do I do? You can see a note to myself. Dr. Moshelko was a Director General of CSIR long ago. I heard him speak in National Metallurgical Laboratory on the Scientific Day, possibly on 28 February, 20 years ago. He said, in any research institution and in academics as well, if the research can be implemented, then good. If it can be commercialized, even better. If it cannot, what do? You feel you're not adding. You are adding. You are adding knowledge to the knowledge frontier, to the knowledge repository. And he said, though it is still not actionized or implemented, he said, in any research institution, in government or private, there should be a band of researchers, a group of researchers who do research for research's sake only. They specialize in the methodology. They go deeper and deeper into the subject, not thinking every day, where will this lead to? It's a bit theoretical concept, especially for those who are in natural sciences like physics, chemistry, mathematics, statistics. Don't feel disheartened ever that your project does not have an immediate customer. You are adding to the repository of knowledge. And what I like is draw a bigger picture. Whatever you are doing, draw a bigger picture. I have, those who attended my class, they know that I am a storyteller, more of a teacher. An ordinary farmer, kisan, went to a seed shop. बीजा खरीदने के लिए कोई दुकान गए थे. And somebody, the shop owner, told him, all those boras, those bags contain seeds of different plants. This is this is that is that, this is this. After about half an hour, the shopkeeper finds a man was standing frozen in his position with some seeds in his hand. Whenever I narrate this story, I get goosebumps even now. He came and knocked the person. भाई साहब क्या हो गया? ठीक है ना? Are you all right? The man came back to senses and said, yes. What's wrong with you? Nothing wrong. I am holding a forest in my hand. I am holding a forest in my hand. That's what the person said. Because he could remember all these seeds would grow into big tall trees. So that's a potential you could see. So whenever you are giving your presentation, I'm not asking you to go to the forest or think of the forest, but think of a bigger picture. You never know. You never know where it will lead to. So be sure that there is a final, at the end of the tunnel, there will be something which we don't know, and that's the incentive that draws me forward. Okay. I now come to practical examples. This was a project which I had done, solving corrosion problem in transport or galvanized grid coils. 1 minute. See the format. Read it through. I don't need to. And I believe 80% of this will be understandable to anybody in the science group. This is the kind of black marks on steel galvanized coils. It is not produced in the factory. It develops during the transportation. Continuous wrapping of inter-wrap friction. Continuous friction between inter-wraps for thousands of miles. It doesn't happen when the coil are transported from Jamshedpur to Assam or to Calcutta or to Bihar or to Orissa. It happens to Chennai, to Mumbai, to Kashmir. Long distance, road travel, continuous, the rolled coils keep on. That is the problem. 1 minute. This, I have tried to analyze the problem. I have correct the root causes. I have suggested techniques. Next problem. Little bit bigger. 3 minutes. Try to read through. You don't have to. Look at the underlined portions. What did I highlight? Definition, visual observation, monetary loss. What was the analysis? What was the cause? What were the causes identified? What was the solution? What was the outcome? I know this cannot serve as a template for all of your projects. But this gives you an idea. This gives you an idea. This is ready. This happens like this happens this place. This is detrimental to these people. We analyze the problem. These are the reasons we found. These are the solutions. And the solution is the results of this. You are happy, the person is happy. Right. Next. I have not made it 5 minutes because it will be too long, but I'm giving you some key points. So, what all were analyzed, this will come. Visuals to go with 3-minute or 5-minute presentation. Simple things. There is a theory which says it oxidizes first, then it wears first. The second theory says it wears out first, then oxidation starts. Confusion. One more picture. Oxidation wear theory, wear oxidation. Choose the simple diagrams. I will show you some examples where the diagrams chosen by the researcher is so complicated, it's beyond anybody to guess it within even 5 minutes what he wants to say. These are the points we have analyzed. Bullet points, no full sentences. 5-minute version. Don't have to read through. See the points I have underlined. Problem, happening, place of happening, current research has statistically pinpointed, reasons, proposed solution, result. So, a 5-minute version. 5-minute version of the theory. Read only the underlines. क्या है? What is this? When does it happen? Why does it happen? What did you find out? Or what did I find out? How did I solve it? And what has it led to? कहानी खत्म. You have to make a story out of it. Well, I stop at 135. 10 I am not discussing. I'll touch upon the presentation that should go with 10. But 10, if I want to show it here, you have to skip your lunch, which I don't want, neither do you. To go with presentations, attractive slides from your research, to go. 3-force microscope study of surface with 20% and 2% alumina and zinc. And this is the coil holding solution. If you put the coil on this kind of saddles, corrosion doesn't happen. This is a kind of field emission image. Scanning electron microscope using deep infrared area. That means it goes a little bit deeper. The moment you are 10 minutes, you are free. Little bit. 1 minute, extremely costly. 3 minutes, more complicated. 5 minutes, you are comfortable between. 10 minutes, you are free to explain everything, go into deeper details. So 5 or 10 minute version. Okay, so the eye is missing. Eye is missing. To go with 5-10 minute solution, what were tried? What were the solutions? Why did we try it? This should come in small bullet forms. You are the best judge. You are the cook. You know what kind of dish we deal with. You can have a snack bar in 1 minute. You can have a cup of tea in 5 minutes by least. You need a full meal, and if you are in a hurry, you take 10 minutes. Depending on the audience, depending on the food and the meal and the time available, you have to accordingly organize. Project number 2. This is not from a science film. It's from the University of Michigan, Wayne State University, Michigan, from industrial psychology. Boundary management strategy for work-life balance. Work-home conflict. Is it 1240 or more than that? Guess that. Thank you. I would request, if you can read fast, read through. If you cannot, read only the bold letters. Just try to visualize what the researcher did. It was a project for industrial psychology. What is boundary management strategy? What can we increase? What did the findings indicate? Segmentation strategy, integration strategy. Findings are likely to have practical implications. 1 minute, Gautam. क्या किया, क्यों किया, क्या देखा, क्या हुआ. It's a story, kahani. You have to make them interesting. The moment you try to pump in more and more facts, more and more details, I'll show you some. I'll show you some disastrous results. You are happy, I have given everything. No, the person on the other side of the audience doesn't have the time to go through and understand and appreciate. If time permits, I'll come back. A 10-minute, 10-slide presentation of this project. Slide number. Let me go through and then come back. Would you remind me if I end before 1 o'clock, I'll go through this 10-slide presentation. Project number 3. Optimizing the processing conditions, optimizing range, optimizing galvanizing advanced high-strength steels. Read the first statement of 1 minute. This lady employee of Taxi is now in Aachen, Germany, doing a postdoctoral in galvanizing. I requested her 1 minute presentation, and I believe everyone, even if she is not a metallurgist, she will understand or he will understand. Advanced high strength steel, AHSS. All the new models of cars have to be light because CO2 load in the atmosphere has come down. At the same time, you can't make a very lightweight material with aluminium or some other thing because it has to be crash resistant. So, contradictory requirements, resisting the impact of any kind of crash, as well as having the formability of the different shapes. Those of you who have two-wheelers, motorbikes, they have between their legs the fuel tank. It takes a terribly difficult kind of steel to have that amount of draw so that the entire thing can be bent like that. At the same time, it will have to be anti-corrosive because petrol, though it has a pH of 7 normally, if you keep it in store, the pH comes down to 5. It becomes weak acid, like acetic acid or formic acid. Petrol corrodes. So it has to be anti-corrosion. It had to be formable. So contradictory requirement. And ultra-high strength steels are the talk of the town today. Everyone is going for higher strength steel. The megapascal terms have gone to 1,000 megapascal steel, especially for the body, for the bonnet. The moment you have to coat it to prevent corrosion, it becomes very difficult because those elements like niobium, manganese, phosphorus, all these strengthening elements have a predisposition of getting oxidized fast. So the moment they oxidize, they can't stick the molten zinc on. So galvanizing is. So that is the problem sheet to solve. Don't have to read the entire thing. Just browse through the bold points. What is this? Where is it applied? What is the problem? What does the current research do? What is the project? What has the project yielded? Coating ability of advanced steel, because advanced steels not only have to be stronger, but they have to be corrosion resistant as well. Highlights. I have a suggestion which I have not included here for all of you. Whenever you have time to write a document or a paper or a PowerPoint presentation on your project thesis, get it checked by not only your professor or by your peer. Get it checked and seen by somebody who doesn't belong to your field. The third party, who may not know what is steel, may not know what is galvanizing, etc. Just browse through that. Sometimes it works wonder. He may give you some idea. The linkage between your slide 6 and slide 7 is not very clear. Impartial view. That's it. Of course, you will take your professors and peers. Next comes one. Look, this very empowered and educated, highly educated lady who is in Aachen, Germany at the moment. Still, I would say she said it can be included in 1 and 3 minutes, but I don't think it will serve your purpose. By the time you can grasp the idea, you can't grasp these full pictures. But the takeaway from here is background, problem statement, approach, results, and summary. Read these things. 2, 3, 4, and this. Take this mold, fit it into your project, and try to present it accordingly. So that the person on the other side who sees the project for the first time can appreciate, acha, acha, that's the thing. Oh, okay, I can understand better. Right, that's the thing. Fine. Right, next. 3 to 5 minutes, a little bit more, little bit more. Background, problem statement, formation of research objectives. 5 minutes. In maybe leave some space. Yesterday in the posters I saw many of them were so cluttered that it literally repelled me. Some of them literally repelled me. You have some space, not only to talk, but also to write, but also the eyes also need rest to understand it. Oh, that's a connection. And if 3 and 5 minutes are there staring at you, it's more difficult. Remember, give some space. Cut down. Be ruthless to yourself. Say to yourself, well, you've done very well, but you don't have to put everything in. Continue it for 10 minutes. Methodology, results, experimental results, more details. Still, I think the layout here is appreciated. 5 minutes to 10 minutes. Layout is very important. Results continue. 10 minutes presentation. Depth profiles, formation of interface, galvanizing, real life pictures, curves, photograph, micrographs at times, use of prior coating, suitable temperature, atmosphere, can restrict desegregation and lead to defect-free galvanizing. Summary. Because this is your highlight. You can't keep on going and going. Next. Okay, here is a little bit of respite. In one of the manuscript, the typist typed, I wrote that the boiling point as BP has reduced. He thought it would be better to put BP as blood pressure. So in a technical document, boiling point, he made the blood pressure to go up for me. He applied his intelligence. Okay, what is LOI? LOI. Somebody should answer. There are many. Huh? Letter of intent. Somebody with a commercial intent of money. If I say loss on ignition, chalta hai, chemical loss on ignition. There is a furnace company in Germany. There was Ludwig of Lindovac. We used to refer to LOI, consult LOI. What is RTI? Let us see. Let us see. Yes. What is CTC?
Cost to company.
Cost to company. There is CTCT as well. Card, crush, turn, crushes, something. UTI. Unit Trust of India. Urinary tract infection. You may think that Sir has picked up some hypothetical examples. Whenever you are using forms like this, abbreviations like this, be very careful to define it. Just slide number 33. This is RTI is also right to intervention, response to intervention, and right to information, response to right to information. respiratory tract infection, RTA. Depends the background. Okay, so I put all of them and show you. TMC, Renewal Congress, Toyota Motor Corporation, traffic message control. Be sure and careful whenever you are using abbreviations. I don't want to deal with this. I hope all of you are familiar with the importance of affix, curves. I am trying to lead you to the next stage, which is called mistake proofing. Examples of poor presentation slides, cluttered by too much of information, graphics. I asked one of my very close research scientists in university. He did his PhD from Cambridge, and I asked him to make a slide for a 1 minute show on his project of wear and mechanical strength. This is what he sent me. Tribology, wear, PhD title, wear of tin perlite, nanostructure bainite and martensite, University of Cambridge. I didn't have a chance to tell him that, look, mister, I am fond of you, you respect me a lot, but do you think this is good for 1 minute? Is there anybody who can challenge and say that, yes, sir, I can understand everything in 1 minute? Good question. Be ruthless to yourself. Put the basics. This is where you have to develop your judgment. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes you can play around. Another example in a 3-minute presentation. A galvanizing line with this amount of details, these parameters, these values, useless in 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Put yourself in the audience space, or the examiner space, or the funder space. Can you manage to understand this in 3 minutes? Don't put him into difficulty. Another thing, paired comparison technique. Somebody suggested that this can be included in a 5-minute or 10-minute presentation. Even 10 minutes, I won't accept it. I know, I appreciate what you've done. I salute it. Fine. You. It often says, the operation is successful, but the patient died. You did a very good job. They didn't produce any result. So don't let it happen. That the operation is successful, the doctor is happy, the patient died, that's something different. Don't ever go to that situation. Now I have 5, 6 more slides. 10 minutes, 5 minutes. No. I picked it up from a PhD presentation. This was being done by a lady student who finally got her PhD. She was putting it to a supervisor and project sponsor. Look at the title. Look at the title. Big, unnecessarily long. Even if you have the patience to read through, half of your energy is gone. Next. This is something she did for some statistical analysis. Sorry. Right. What do you make out of it? 3-minute, 5-minute presentation. Who is going to explain the terms? I appreciate you've done a good mathematical background study. Is it essential to communicate to the funder or to the research scientist? Maybe your PhD examination is half an hour, 45 minutes defense. I understand. Think of the other person on the other side. Be your own judge. Don't think that you have to show everything you have. Whenever you are asked, are you rich? You don't show all the money you have. You say, yes, I have 50,000 rupees in cash at home, but good amount as an FD or mutual fund, whatever it is. Bring that later if question arises. Next. Sorry. This was the table presented in the PhD, not PhD defense, sorry, project proposal. How much time do you think somebody will need to understand? Nobody, I challenge, nobody would take the even trouble of trying to see the things, column headings. Guard against such mistakes. If you think this is necessary for your PhD defense, keep it in hyperlink. Analysis of variance for the quadratic polynomial mode. 1 minute, out of question. 3 minutes, out of question. 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, possibly yes. But definitely it will not win you laurels. Table tense. Also. Conclusion. Yesterday in the poster session, I saw, I think maybe 4 or 5 of them where the conclusions were 27 lines long, 17 lines long. But then again, the project I was heavily impressed with Ruxana's project on gas sensor. 1, 2, 3, quite a number of them others. So, maybe Kashmir, 2, 2, 3, something like that. Quite a number of them. 1, 2, 3, clear conclusions. People would like to look at your abstract first and conclusion then, and then go into the details. Don't repel them in the beginning by putting an abstract this long and a conclusion this long. What's the highlight? What are you going to sell? Your job. Think of the other person. References. In PhD thesis, it is essential. Is it essential in a poster presentation? I don't know whether that was given format to you. And why should the font size of reference should be as big as 12, 14, 16 like all the other things? References are again backup information. Someone wants to know, अरे तुमने क्या किया? और किसी ने कुछ किया क्या? पता है तुम्हें? दिखाओ क्या है? It does not require that amount of importance or boldness or size. Remember these slides. I know quite a lot. I might make a summary of these things later. What I am coming up with, the last 2 slides. This is final ready recorder for all of you. I believe this is the USP of my lecture today. And this is what struck me after I had consulted quite a number of my ex-colleagues and of course my son and daughter. My son teaches neuroscience in UK and he guided me. And then based on their ideas, I thought if I make a matrix for all of you to carry back home, 1 minute में क्या करना, 3 मिनट में क्या करना, 5 मिनट में क्या बोलना, 10 मिनट क्या नहीं बोलना, matrix मैंने बनाया. This is in hard copy, available with Ganesh, Mahesh or this is it. These are the items to outline. Triangle main seats. Outline, not. Black boxes are no, not. According to me, this is basic guideline. I believe that if you keep it as handy, everyone present, you don't have to take a photograph of it. You don't have to take a photograph of it. You will get hard copy from them. He is there. I think there is enough copy. Yes. Distribute it. That brings me to the end of a broken voice lecture. मेहनत बहुत किया था इसके लिए. I wish I had a voice. Thank you. Make sure everyone gets a copy. If there is a shortage, contact Mahesh Tambare. He will arrange to give it to anybody who hasn't got it. Mahesh, this is for public distribution. Those of the students who have not attended it, you can distribute them. I think this will be a very helpful guide for them. Just a minute. Finally, once more, my apology for my broken voice on which I didn't have a control. I enjoyed sharing my information, whatever I could collect, I have shared with you. Thank you very much once again for inviting me and having me lunch. Thank you.
We thank sir for those motivational words and was able to see, our research in a very different way on how to present it. The real life examples, especially from the yesterday's posters, was something that, we would have also not paid much attention to, but it is this key eye of detail that makes us better researchers and better people. So we thank sir for the talk, and I call our event manager head, Sindura, to please give us our note of respect. I request everybody to please come on the first few benches so we can take a picture with her. Can everybody climb down to the first few benches, first few seats?
Yeah, sure. Rest is very telling. No, please try to overcome it for a minute.